Okay. Once again, just for the recording, this is the Los Alamos Go Club, and right now we're just recording some mini lessons, mostly aimed at beginners. And so we talked a little bit about corner sides and center. We talked about some end game things. I thought now it would be good just to record some games because I think a lot of y'all are getting stuck around this level. So let's play a 13 by 13, and I'm going to play a pretty easy bot, 24K. And the reason I'm playing such an easy bot is because I just want to show how simply you can play and still win games at that level. So the point is just to illustrate easy, solid play where you don't have to do a lot of deep reading. You can just play. And then we might do another game where we'll do like a stronger bot, but do a 5-stone handicap, right? Because that's the green belt test, and some of y'all are struggling with that right now. So yeah, let's just get it started. Oh, just kidding. This bot will not play that game. Oh, because the Comey was weird. Okay, what's typical Comey on a 13 game? Do y'all know? 6.5? Seems fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do believe it's 6.5.
Okay, we'll just do 6.5.
I know some bots have requirements where they have to be at a certain comey or it won't let you play against them.
Yeah. Okay, so my game has started. I'll link it in OGS so that y'all can join it if you're interested. And once again, we don't have any of our beginners on voice right now. We have some more experienced players. So the recording will just be, posted in the club for the beginners to see. And yeah, looking forward to any questions if y'all have them, whatever. So I'm just gonna play a 3-4 point. Oh, that's 3-3. Whatever. I misclicked. Okay, so
Strong start.
right, we talked about like corner sides and center. This doesn't really take the corner very well, um, and so I'm not too worried about addressing it. Um, or maybe I can address it and take the corner at the same time. Um, let's just play 3-4. Okay, so the stone is too high. It doesn't really bother me very much, so I'm going to go ahead and take a move in the other corner. Okay, he approached my corner, so just pretty simply, I'm just going to do a 2-space extension on the third line. This is a good way to make some points on the side. It's a nice base. It's hard to kill. So now I see my top left is starting to get surrounded a little bit. So what would be a simple move? Let's just do a diagonal in the corner. That's not a super common move, but it's nice. Okay, so with this 1-space jump, I see my opponent is kind of in the middle right to take a bunch of territory. So I'm going to make, again, another little 2-space extension on the right side just to diminish his potential there. If he were to play L8, there'd be a really big box right there. And I don't like that. So I'm going to mess with it. That's not very threatening. I do see that I probably should start being a little bit more active in the center because even though it's difficult to take a lot of points in the center, black is getting a lot of moves there. So maybe something simple would just be to sort of jump out in this way. 2-space jump. That's fine. I wonder if my opponent will let me play endgame over here. There's when you have on the third line, uh, two opposing groups separated by 1 space like that, there's kind of a nice end game. So like whoever plays M7 first, the other has to block, and then later someone can crawl underneath that, even one more in Sente. Um, but let's just poke. Let's just go up and in a little bit because again, I see he can make a big box up that way. I don't like that. So here he's threatening to disconnect that stone, so I will keep it connected. There are 2 ways I could do it, E10 or E11. Let's just do E11. So this move can actually disconnect because a knight's move is not a connected jump. So I'll block, and if he disconnects, then we'll have to fight a little bit. Okay, he did. How should we fight? We can Atari from the side, from F5, and that starts to build us a little bit more territory over there. But when he runs, it makes my h5 stone weaker. The other option would be to Atari from the top. And when he runs, then maybe I could do something like J7, which is also not connected, but we'll see. I can also just ignore it and treat it like a threat. That's okay too. And I think I might do that first. So let's just go A7. Again, just looking at his little group over there. That's not very threatening. I don't know. How about D9? We'll make our corner bigger. Okay, so this, you see he's threatening two different cuts. And I'm going to protect the one at E11. He Atari'd my stone. So I'm just going to pretend that that stone is dead. That's fine. And I'm going to make him take it, hopefully, with F5. Cool. So now he killed that stone. That's okay. No big deal. I'm going to go ahead and take the corner over here. That's points. He's threatening to take it back. I'll stop him. We should ask if this is worth protecting or not. If he, so this is the hat that we talked about before. He can play B3 and kill that stone. But yeah, let's just play simply, right? That's the goal. So we see that he can take that stone, so we'll just keep it. Okay. So we have to be careful here, right? The direction that we Atari from is important. I imagine if we Atari from C11, we could lose those stones. So always remember, like when you Atari a stone like this, there's a good chance it'll run. At least consider that it will run, and then see what the board looks like then. So am I happy with having a stone at C12 and he has a stone at C11, or if I push him the other way, it's kind of easier for me to block with this stronger group. So that's what I'll do. So I see that he's developing kind of a nice corner over here. And so maybe I can get some Sente endgame. I don't know why he chose to play this now. That's fine. So we just fix the Ataris. He's threatening a cut. I think this is more threatening though. So I'm going to do that. Cool. So now I can threaten this Atari and get a free move there. And that also temporarily fixed the cut that he was threatening, right? He was threatening the cut at K7, but if he did that, I could just take those two stones. Now I can't do that, so I'll fix the cut. Cool. So he's just going to let us... This is a really nice thing if you can do it, right? So when your opponent is building a big territory, if you can just weasel in a little line of stones, it does a lot of good ruining the territory there. We'll just play simply. He Atari'd, so we'll fix. Don't know why he decided to fix that. He does have some potential to make some territory around F7. It would be difficult, right? We have two ways in. We can invade from the F10 side or from the F5 side. So why don't we just make our corner... Well, let's see if he'll give us some Sente endgame at H2. He will not. Okay. So now I don't want him to continue on this path, right? If he plays L9, that's an Atari, and he gets to split up my group. I don't like that. So I'll crawl here. Okay. He did not respect my threat at H2, and I don't... we should be careful here, though. We see that this little bend of stones doesn't have a lot of freedoms. Yeah, so we can fix that weakness or Aji. Kind of like this. That's fine. And he protected on that side. So here's a neat little tactic you can use. You can do a one space jump on the second line, and he can't disconnect that. So it looks like now he wants to. Oh, hey, Toby. Yeah, you're welcome to turn on your mic and ask questions. So I'm just gonna block here. He'll probably Atari, and then I'll fix. So now we see he's trying to make territory up here. He can't do it just yet because there's some weaknesses over here. But anyway, I'll go ahead and fix this. So this is why he can't disconnect over there. Oh, cool. And now we'll get to do some kind of basic invasion reading. So, man, what is that noise? That's interesting. So the corner is the easiest place to make eyes for an invasion. So I'm just going to try and limit the space that he has to make those eyes. Okay, and that is already sufficient. He seems to have given up on it. Cool, so let's just jump a stone in here, right? We see he wants to make territory in this area. So if we just pop a stone there, that's fine. Now this territory is pretty much ruined. Cool, so let's look. I'm going to use the analysis tool here. What would he need to make two eyes over here? So let's say I ignore. I know, sorry, y'all on stream can't see this. It'll be in the video, though. Let's say he plays here, and then let's say I ignore. He plays here, and I ignore. Actually, let's say on this one, I turn, and then he plays here. If I do this, there. He needs all four of these stones to make two eyes. And so as long as I don't let him have any of those moves, then it's fine. So for example, instead of stopping there, I could just throw in, and he wouldn't have two eyes. And I see that I'm able to actually ignore that area a few times. So yeah, we don't have to worry about this invasion just right now. It's fine. So let's crawl over here. He wants to make territory in this area. And we can poke over here. Oh, shoot. He's going to disconnect that stone. Oh, he didn't know. Yeah, it's fine. So in general, right, I would say keep him out of the corner. But he's really far from the corner. We don't have to worry about that. I don't think we have to defend this probably at all. But just to play simply, this is a nice way to defend. We can... we usually want to avoid attaching to invasion stones, but in this case, that stone is very, very strong, right? It's got this tiger's mouth connection to the other group, so it's fine. We'll go ahead and keep that stone connected. Okay, let's keep him out of the corner, because the corner is the easiest place to live. And we'll just finish the game simply. I'm just going to sort of crawl around without much thought. Okay. Because we can see black has almost no territory, and we have some territory, so we'll win.
So, as Tom is doing this boring end game, I just want to interject. Because I don't know if he's gone over this before, but he said typically you don't want to attach to invasion stones. And the very basic reason for that is that if you attach to an opponent's stone, and those are the only two stones in the area, your opponent has the initiative, right? They are one move ahead of you in that area. And so what you're doing is you're giving them a chance to bully your stone to make their group strong. But then Tom said that his F2 stone was already strong because of all the stones around it. So because of the two groups that kind of constituted Tom's corner, he could play that stone, and even though it's a solo stone that's attaching to an invasion, it's actually protecting from like two different cuts.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's what he meant when he said you don't want to attach to invasion stones typically.
Sure. Yeah, and we can talk about that more later. But yeah, thanks. That makes sense, Carl. Yeah, so here I'm letting my time run down because it doesn't matter. I kind of have two options. M10 will split black, even though he can connect on the bottom. And then M8 keeps my two groups connected. So I would rather split black because that hurts him a lot. And I just need to make sure that when he disconnects, it doesn't kill me. And it doesn't here. This other group over here is very strong, but if it weren't so strong, I would need to make sure I connect. This is a co. We don't really have to fight over the code, but we'll just do it. It's fine. We'll just keep it. Let's go ahead and take this Atari because it's free. And then when we connect, we're threatening to disconnect this whole T of stones right here, right? So he'll probably connect there. He did not. So in this case, we're willing to sacrifice this one stone, which will be a couple points, in order to disconnect this huge group of stones on the left. And then, so these are all now dead. And what I've seen a lot of y'all do, and it's understandable, a lot of beginners do this, is now you see, I think I've killed these stones. Let me go ahead and make sure I killed them and play A4 and A6. We don't need to do that. And another thing, because they'll die eventually.
9, 8.
One thing I watch for over here is there's kind of an Atari chain, right? So he Atari me there, he can Atari me here, then I fix, and then I need to see, does that lead to death? So try to look for chains of Ataris like that. Again, I'm not worried about this group living because I saw he doesn't have room for 2 eyes.
10.
So I'm going to strengthen that group a little bit just by expanding. That's fine. So that was an Atari there, so I fixed it. Now my opponent wants to save these 2 stones. I won't let him. So we'll stop here. And we do need to be careful. We can see that eventually this group of stones will be in Atari. And at that time, I'll need to make sure I kill these 3 stones over here. So I need to make sure that I have time to do that. That's one of those things that can catch you off guard. I see Black can make 2 points by playing in the center. So I'll just play there so he doesn't get to. And the game's pretty much over now. So let's go ahead and just kill these 2 stones because we have time. Oh yeah, we should be careful. So if I block, we need to imagine what if he goes ahead and cuts? Is it dangerous? So I can show. We block and he cuts. We can Atari, and it's no big deal, right? So
9,
we are able
8.
to. But if this were one shorter, it would be a problem. If I had 1 less liberty over here, I wouldn't be able to block there. I'd have to go ahead and connect.
So always compare your liberties with your opponent's liberties. How many liberties do you have versus your opponent's liberties?
Yes. Yep. So fun. This does not actually help him with eyes right there. So he'll want to play here if he wanted 2 eyes, but we see that eventually he's going to have to play an 11. So he can only have 1 eye in the top corner there.
10.
But let's go ahead and just kill it, right? He's donated us enough stones in the area. We can go ahead and kill. Is there anything left? Eventually I'll have to kill this, so I guess it would be polite to go ahead and do it. But I don't see anywhere else to get points. Okay, so let's go ahead. We won't make it close. We could technically try to pass until it's a close liberty race, but not bother. Okay, we'll pass.
Remove the dead stones. White wins.
We did it. We won.
GG.
Looked like there was a big move or 2 I was ignoring around move 70 to 90, something like that. But yeah, easy enough. Okay, well, cool. GG. So I guess that was about 20 minutes. So maybe we'll just leave it there, and maybe we can record a couple others and post them as well. But I'll do it separately. So I'll go ahead and stop that. And y'all feel free to leave questions if you have them.